afternoon. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Irma Mast. If you're new here, welcome. I'm still learning where to look at in my camera. I tried a few different places and I'm still learning where is the right place to look at. So sorry if it seems like I'm not talking to you or looking at you, but I do see you and I'm so glad you're here. If you've been following me for a while, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate it. Today I will be talking about the hardest things about leaving the Amish, and this is specifically my story. I'm not saying, it's not for anyone else. It's not, these are some of the things that I was hardest for me. As most of you know, I left the Amish almost 5.5 years ago, and so it's been a journey, and I think a lot of these things are things that almost everyone faces in life one time or the other in their own way. So let's just get into it. I hope you're doing well. I have my little bit of notes so I keep on the right path and I don't take a lot of squirrels. So bear with me while I learn and try to get this. So these are not in any particular order. I think the first one was fear of what happens with relationships, especially with my family. This was more specifically before I left. I had a good relationship with my family, and I didn't know, like, I was so scared that it would just, like, I had heard from Amish that left and you could never have contact with your family or type of thing, and I couldn't imagine that with my family. But at the same time, I didn't know what to expect from my family, and I felt I had put them through so much that I didn't want to ruin that. And like, I deeply appreciated the bond that I had with them, and there was a lot of fear of being alone and not like what would happen with my family. And I had a lot of friends, what would happen with my friends. Thankfully, I still have good relationships with my family, and I still have good relationships with friends. I evidently can't keep up with everyone. I don't have contact with everyone. There are some friends that kind of dwindled, like just kind of disappeared from my life, which is fine. I have enough friends that I don't need them if they don't accept where I'm going in life. And it's very important to me to have friendships that have the same values and the same beliefs, that built me up, for a more proper term, but also some that, I'm friends with non-believers, believers, people that don't believe like I do as well. So I'm not saying that I only need friends that are exactly like, have the same values. That's not what I'm saying. I have friends with different beliefs, and I have friends from different backgrounds, and I really enjoy that. Number 2 is crisis of beliefs. Like, what do I really believe about something? Like, some examples would be, one is dress. Like, how do I want to dress? What does the Bible say about dress? I'm a Bible believing Christian, so I believe my answer should be from my God or from the Bible, his word. And so that is my resource, that is my source of where my decisions are based off of. And I was like, what is right? The Bible doesn't say you can or shouldn't or should dress Amish or not Amish, or you should wear pants or you shouldn't. Like, exactly where is the line? And it gives very little direction about what is appropriate and what isn't. So I really had to search, and that is still something that is a process for me. I don't believe that there is a right answer for everyone, and this is like clear cut. If you would like to see more specific, or have a video about modesty or that kind of thing, feel free to comment below, and that will be something I would consider doing. But in terms of, like, crisis of belief, like, this is what I was taught, this is how we always did it, but what do I believe? Where am I going? What do I want for my life? Jewelry was one of those things, and there are just so many. Working on Sundays was very strict. No, you don't work on Sundays. And then there are people that still keep that. There are people that use it in different ways. Like, what do I want? And so the crisis of belief is large, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good place to be in life, like, to really search what we want. So the other thing was changing dress, of course. Some people would say that's very easy, and that's very, like an easy thing. And I think for me, I didn't have a problem, as in it really messed with my identity. But I think the biggest thing was judgment and pressure coming from the non-Amish, surprisingly. there were people at the time, and I don't really have, in the time that I left, the people that were in my life, there was much more like, oh, you should wear pants. If you wear a covering, you're religious, and that's almost like wrong. Just as much as the Amish say if you don't wear a covering, it's wrong. Like, there are Amish that don't say that and believe that, but I felt a lot of judgment coming from the non-Amish that if you don't wear if you wear a covering, it's religious, or they expect me, like, our judgment coming from a place of you should wear, you should have your hair done, you should wear makeup, or like just those pressures of, and to me that was very overwhelming and very hard, because I was used to dressing in the morning, like 5 minutes and I could slip on a dress and have my hair combed and a covering on and ready for the day. Like, we didn't wear makeup. I mean, we had hygiene, routine with hygiene. I washed my face and my teeth and washed my glasses and all those kinds of things. I washed my hair. But as far as like every day, every morning, a lot of like having a hair done a certain way, like in 1 minute I could have my hair back and my covering on, slipping on a dress, washing my face. Like, I wasn't used to doing all that, and the amount of pressure coming in from, you should wear makeup. Or I remember someone telling me, you mean you don't use hair conditioner? You should though. And for me, some of my family used hair conditioner, but I have very slippery hair, and if I would use hair conditioner on top of the bought conditioner, that stuff that is really slippery, my hair is almost uncontrollable. And it was just like, what? Like, my hair is slippery. It was very, like, I didn't feel the need for it, but all those pressures was very overwhelming and was very hard for a while. I kind of eventually decided, and also the amount of options with dress, like, we always, I grew up, we had like maybe 4 everyday dresses. So in the morning I would wake up, I would slip on a dress, not much thought. And this way I have so many options. Like, do I want to wear jeans? Do I want to wear this color? Do I want to wear a skirt? Do I want to wear a dress? And then what goes on the top? This, like, what goes together, and even the sweater if it's cool, or just so many options. And that was very hard for me. I wouldn't necessarily want it to go back to wearing a dress every day, just a dress over my head, but it was hard. And I was used to wearing homemade clothing, that, not all homemade, but some of it was like, most of it was new clothing that, I was the first one wearing it. And coming from that culture without a job and with my health as it was, I wasn't able to start with all new clothing. And so wearing thrifted clothing and then trying to put outfits together, and everyone had their opinions of what went together, was difficult. I would say that was one of the most difficult things for me. But with time, I found Dressing Your Truth, that made it 100 times more easy. And I found a wardrobe that works for me, with kind of making my bottoms are very neutral for the most part, and just simplifying things. And I kind of created a system for myself that very much simplified it. So at this point, it's still a challenge to keep it simplified, because there's so many cute things out there. I do try to kind of push my limits and trying new things, just because it's very easy to get stuck in the same thing. But at the same time, I love, having a few neutral bottoms, and then it's easy to find a top with it. So that's kind of a long rant about that, but that was very difficult for me. The next thing is the amount of contact with people. I would say, like, having a phone, I got a cell phone soon after, and I just had a basic phone in the beginning. I have a smartphone now. But I would say that was also very overwhelming and difficult. Like, if I am doing something in the house, if I'm washing dishes, I want to wash the dishes. Like, I don't want to be disturbed. And to have the phone ringing or text coming in all day, that is still a challenge for me. I would say it can get very overwhelming, and sometimes people expect you, like my family, all of a sudden my family expected me, when they call out, you pick up because you have a cell phone. And they have learned since, but I think many people, especially the Amish, like, hey, she has a cell phone, why doesn't she pick up? And they didn't realize that, if I'm shopping, I'm not going to always pick up, or if I'm at an appointment, I'm not going to pick up, or if I shut my phone off at a certain time at night, like, my phone isn't an emergency thing. It's a way to communicate. And so that was a challenge. The next thing is being excommunicated from my home church. About 6 months after I left, I got excommunicated from the Amish church, and just facing the reality of what my church family believed was very, very eye-opening for me. How much the acceptance and the love that they had for me was based on how I dressed. Thankfully, there are many, many Amish people that never made a difference. Quite a bit of my friends and former church people never made any difference since I left, and I really deeply am grateful for that. But there are some people, like just the fact that the church voted, or they agreed to excommunicate me, and what that means is different for everyone. But the fact that people saw me as a different person because I'm wearing different clothing, I was like, oh, like the reality hit of how much was based off of looks and clothing and style, like that type of thing. And that was really, it hurt. I had put my all into that church and into following God, and all of a sudden some people saw you as, you're not worth it to have communion because of my clothing, because of going to a different church. And there's just a lot of things, many things that exposed themselves with me leaving when they didn't agree. And so that was very eye-opening and also a difficult time for me. And I would say all of these things, I have grown enough in them that they were worth going through. I'm still get crisis of beliefs. I still, the fashion, or people thinking I have to wear makeup or certain way. I'm in a different, I go to a different church than I used to, and I have different people around me, so that's improved a lot. But yeah, those were some of the things that were very difficult for me. If you have questions, feel free to comment below, and I'll try to do my best to answer them. I know some of you that are watching are Amish, and some of you are watching that just have questions or whatever. And I'm so glad you're here. That is just part of my journey, and that is just where I come from and some of the difficulties that I challenged. And something that I've learned is humans are humans. The root causes are all the same within the Amish and non-Amish. And many of the things are just a little bit of a different culture, but each culture brings their own good, and each culture brings their own challenges. And yeah, those are a few of those things. And I hope to see you again soon. I love spending time with you and getting to know you all in the comments. And if you like this video, give it a like. If you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe and join our family here, and we will see you next time.